In the quiet neighborhood of Friendship Village, Ste Madeleine, San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago, on a morning like any other, a young girl's life came to a shattering end. This is the story of 12-year-old Mariah Seenath, who would have turned 13 soon, whose dreams, embraced by family and friends, were violently cut short. Today we walk through who she was, what happened, when and how, who may have been involved and why questions remain unanswered. We invite you, the viewer, to hold your thoughts, ask questions for yourself and share what you believe. What kind of home life did she have? What led to her violent end? And how will the community remember her? Stay with us. Mariah was a bright, ambitious student at San Fernando East Secondary School's FES, described by her teachers as quiet but radiant, disciplined yet playful. An earlier teacher at her primary school recalled, she was a quiet star, ever bright. Her presence was always felt. She was born in late 2012, and by September 2025 she was 12 years old, just weeks away from her 13th birthday on November 1st. Mariah lived in Friendship Village, a working-class neighborhood of San Fernando, where she resided between her father's home and her grandmother's. On the night before her death, she stayed at her grandmother's home on Cipero Road, returning early the next morning. She loved football. Her PE teacher described her as one of the best strikers on the school team. Her dreams? To become a bank manager and on the side, a professional football player. Her father recalled that ambition in tears. In her community she was loved. Classmates wore full school uniform at her funeral. Teammates carried a football in tribute. But behind that smile there existed a vulnerability, as a 12-year-old moving between homes in a neighborhood not immune to risk. Mariah's daily route would soon become the scene of a horror. It was Saturday, September 20th, 2025, when the body of Mariah was discovered. The time of discovery, around 12:50 p.m., a resident found her lifeless body in a bush-covered tract between her father's home and her grandmother's residence, a distance of only a few feet from where she often walked. Earlier that morning, Mariah had returned to her father's house, put her school uniform to soak, and taken a photograph of her sleeping father in a hammock, a precious, ordinary moment captured before the tragedy. It is believed she was heading back to her grandmother's house when the attack occurred. The track is described as secluded, grassy, bush-lined between two homes she knew. What the autopsy revealed is stark and tragic. The pathologist determined the cause of death, blunt force trauma to the head. In addition, investigators observed bruising on her stomach and chest, and grass found wrapped around her neck, evidence suggesting drag or restraint. At the moment the resident found her, there was no one else in sight. The tranquility of the neighborhood shattered in an instant. What do you think went through Mariah's mind in those final minutes? And what might have drawn someone to that bush track? Please pause and reflect, then share your thoughts below. Once the report was made, the case moved to the region's Homicide Bureau of Investigations, Region 3. The autopsy report conducted at the Forensic Science Center confirmed head trauma and the other injuries. Mariah's father, Mariah Seenath, visited the mortuary. He observed wounds on her face. I notice her nose, it not in place, and she have a bruise on she forehead, he said, fighting back tears. He vowed, I will find that person, whosoever do it. Yet, despite the severity of the crime, as of the latest public reports, no suspect has been officially charged. Two men in the area have been mentioned by relatives as suspected, but police said they are not currently seeking any suspects and no motive has been determined. During her funeral on 27 September, the community converged. Classmates in uniform, teammates with a football banner, teachers and friends in tears. The grief was palpable. From the evidence we have head trauma, drag marks, secluded track. What theories come to mind? Was this random or targeted? Share your view below. Mariah's death sent shockwaves through Friendship Village and beyond. Her school released a statement. Mariah will be remembered as a student whose presence brought energy and warmth. Her absence will be deeply felt. Her dream to balance banking and football will remain unfulfilled. Her friends, her team, and her community mourned not only a life gone, but the potential lost. Her funeral became more than a goodbye. It was a moment of collective grief and a call for justice. At the church service, one student walked ahead of the coffin carrying a football, silent tribute to a teammate. Pause a moment, consider Mariah's aspirations, her youthful energy, her position as a valued teammate and friend. How does her story land with you? Reflect on the value of a young life and what it means when it is taken too soon. Despite the tragedy, glaring questions remain. Who attacked Mariah? Why was she targeted, if indeed targeted? How did the assailant avoid detection on a track so close to homes? Mariah was seen alive early morning, walking familiar paths. At around 12:50 p.m., her body found by a resident in Bush Track. The autopsy: blunt for trauma to the head, bruises on chest and stomach, grass around neck, no suspect formally charged. No clear motive disclosed. Given the absence of arrests, investigators are left with a violent act and an unresolved crime. Her father remains hopeful and determined. I don't know who it is or whatsoever. I will find that person. What do you believe is the motive? Was this a stranger attack, a crime of opportunity, or something more sinister? And what do you think must happen next for justice to be served? Please comment below. In the quiet emptiness of a track in Friendship Village, a 12-year-old named Mariah Seenath walked a path she knew and never returned home. We told you about her life, her dreams, the chilling moment she was found, and the unanswered questions that linger. As we close, we remember Mariah not only for the tragedy of her death, but for the brightness of her 12 years, the footballer in the making, the student with ambition, the friend who lit up her classroom. If you found this story meaningful, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more investigative narratives. Share your thoughts below. What stood out to you? What do you want investigated further? And if you're able, consider supporting the cause of justice for Mariah and children whose voices go unheard. Until next time, we are case closed. Stay aware, stay safe, and remember, every life, no matter how short, leaves an imprint.